Hello there. Welcome to Just the Discs. We talk about Blu-rays here. Today I have a bunch of stuff that relates to MVD entertainment. And it's a lot, so let me get into this. I'm going to start with one of the more fun titles, and that is Joysticks. This is a very fun 1980s video game based movie starring Jodan Baker, and it was directed by the great Graydon Clark. This one came out in 1980. Oh, shoot. I'll have to look that up. Early 80s, I know that. But it's a blast. It's very silly. There is a book called Destroy All Movies, The History of Punks on Film, which was co-written by Zach Carlson. And I know that there were a couple movies that inspired that book. Now, that book is out of print. I think they're going to bring it back at some point. It's a great book. And the way that he and Brian Connolly and some of the other folks involved went about researching that movie or that book was pretty crazy, because it was literally just them kind of going through Scarecrow Video and looking at anything, you know, from the mid to late 70s to the 80s that looked like it might have a punk in it. And that's how they found some of the movies. But one of the punks that inspired that book is a character named King Vidiot, played by John Grise. Who, of course, is Laszlo Holyfeld from Real Genius and the Wolfman in Monster Squad. He's in Napoleon Dynamite. You know him. You'd recognize him. He plays King Vidiot in this, and he is out of his mind, and it's pretty interesting to me that is one of the main inspirations for that book. Anyway, so the story. There's something going on at the local video arcade, something totally insane. And by the way, totally awesome video games. The theme song to this movie is really something special. Anyway, outrageous, hilarious, very sexy, and thoroughly entertaining. The hit film Joysticks. This antic romp begins with the video arcade's newest employee, Eugene Leaf Green, who apparently was in Grease 2, arrives pantless for his first day on his job. And how he ends up pantless is quite entertaining. Teenage heartthrob Jeff, Scott McGinnis from Secret Admirer, who runs the arcade, and Dorfus, another really incredible character, Jim Greenleaf, the slovenly video game addict, decide to take revenge on the vivacious Alva, Kim Malin from Weird Science, and Lola for tricking Eugene out of his pants with a wild game of strip video. But before they can act, King Vidiot and his sexy troupe of high-tech video addicts invade the arcade, and pandemonium breaks loose. In the midst of the chaos, Joseph Rudder, that's Jodan Baker, an influential businessman, comes into the arcade looking for his daughter Patsy. When he witnesses the madness around him, he vows to see the den of juvenile delinquency shut down for good. So it's kind of a Save the Rec Center type plot, ultimately. Will the city council decide to close the arcade and spoil the kids' fun, or will Jeff, Eugene, and Dorfus manage to turn Rudder's anger with the help of Alva and Lola? It comes all together in a climactic, hilarious video game competition. I do love movies with games and game competitions as the climaxes, with a winner-takes-all bet on the future of the video arcade in this early 80s cult classic comedy produced and directed by Graydon Clark. Yeah, it is a blast. It has been available on Blu-ray before, and I think that might be out of print now. It was a Code Red, I think, release. And this does have some of the features from that. So it has the original trailer. It has a collectible two-sided mini poster, reversible artwork, coin slots, a faux trailer short written and directed by Newt Wallen and starring Mr. Lobo and Eric T. Wilkinson. Interview with Graydon Clark, audio commentary with Graydon Clark. There's a new fan commentary featuring MVD Rewind Collections, Eric D. Wilkinson, Serial at Midnight host Heath Holland, and Diabolic DVDs Jesse Nelson. Very cool track. Very excited to have that on this disc. definitely a nice upgrade and a fun commentary. I love all those guys. Heath and Jesse, very much friends of this channel, just the discs in general. 2K scan and restoration in 2015 from 35mm film elements presented in 1080p. A limited slipcover. Anyway, this one's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it, and was very glad to see it get this new release. So that's starting things off. Okay. Next, let's talk about Eureka. Eureka Entertainment now has a U.S. arm, and they have a couple releases out as part of their U.S. debut. And one of the first ones is this version of Cat and the Canary. Now, this is a movie that has been adapted before, like since this edition, but this is the 1927 version coming to Blu-ray for the first time from Eureka, and it is based on the 1922 stage production by John Willard, and is a perfect blend of horror and black comedy that stands at the apex of a cycle of films adapted from mystery plays throughout the 1920s. It later inspired James Whales's The Old Dark House, great movie by the way, and has been remade several times but never bettered. The Masters of Cinema series is proud to present this cornerstone of horror cinema for the first time ever on Blu-ray from a glorious 4K restoration. Now, Paul Lenny, from The Man Who Laughs, directs one of the most important and influential films in the early history of American genre cinema, which perfected the Old Dark House formula and set the stage for the universal horror cycle of the 1930s. 20 years after the death of millionaire Cyrus West, his surviving relatives are called together in a decaying mansion on the Hudson River. They gather to hear West's lawyer, Roger Crosby, read his last will and testament and discover he's left everything to his niece Annabelle. That is, at least on the condition that she is judged legally sane. As the family settles in for the evening, tensions rise, and they are informed that a murderer nicknamed the Cat has escaped from a nearby asylum and is suspected to be somewhere on the grounds. Crosby soon disappears in mysterious circumstances, which proves to be the first in a series of horrifying events that will punctuate a long, dark night of terror during which Annabelle's sanity will be called into question again and again. So, nice to get this on Blu-ray for the first time from a 4K scan. But that's not all we get. As you would expect from Eureka and Masters of Cinema, you get a DTS 5.1 score by Robert Israel, compiled, synchronized, and edited by Gillian B. Anderson, based on the music cue sheets compiled and issued for the original 1927 release. Brand new audio commentary by author Stephen Jones and author-critic Kim Newman. I love them as a duo, and they are perfect for this release. Cannot wait to hear that track. Brand new audio commentary by Kevin Lyons and Jonathan Rigby as well. Plus, Mysteries Mean Dark Corners, a brand new video essay by David Cairns and Fiona Watson. Pamela Hutchinson on The Cat and the Canary, a brand new video interview with the writer and film critic Pamela Hutchinson. Fong Le on The Cat and the Canary, brand new interview with film critic Fong Le. Very Eccentric Man and Cat, extracts from John Willard's original play. Lucky Strike, Paul Lenny gives a full-throated endorsement to the product that got him through filming The Cat and Canary. And a collector's booklet featuring new writing on the film by Richard Combs, Craig Ian Mann, and Imogen Sarah Smith. I love me some Imogen Sarah Smith. I love her writings on film noir, but I'm very curious to read her on early horror like this. So that's very exciting. So this looks to be a really cool release and really exciting to have. I mean, not that, their over the seas status, the fact that you had to import the Masters of Cinema discs and the Eureka discs ever stopped me. And I would hope, if you're really hardcore about this stuff, you've already been ordering from Eureka and Masters of Cinema for years. But if you haven't, if you've been waiting for them to come stateside, this is a great way to start. So that's sort of a classic way to kick things off. On top of that, we have The Black Mask. This is a 2-disc limited edition Blu-ray, and this one is a more modern film with Jet Li, produced by legendary action man himself, Chewie Hark. And this is originally from 1996. So not that modern, but certainly more modern than 1927. Jet Li stars in this action-packed superhero spectacle, produced again by legendary Chewie Hark. Chewie Chick is a librarian who leads a quiet, unassuming life, or at least that's what he wants people to believe. In truth, he was a member of the 701 Squad, a group of elite combatants produced by a failed super soldier project, a la Captain America, I guess. In kind with his former comrades, his central nervous system has been altered to render him impervious to pain. When several of his fellow test subjects resurface and embark on a crime wave under the leadership of their former commander, Hung Kuk, Patrick Lung, Chewie is forced to use his extraordinary abilities once more. Donning a costume, he sets out to face his past as the vigilante known as the Black Mask. Adapted from the manhua by Pang Ji-ming and Lee Chick-tak, and heavily influenced by Bruce Lee's turn as Kato in The Green Hornet, Black Mass is one of the most entertaining movies in Jet Li's filmography and boasts an action orchestrated by Yuen Wu-ping, who would later win an Academy Award for his work on Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Eureka Classics is proud to present the film in its rarely seen uncut version on Blu-ray from a 2K restoration. So that's exciting. So fully uncut, presented in 1080 from a 2K restoration. It also has the original US version presented in 1080 from a 2K restoration, original Cantonese stereo, and optional DTS HDMA 5.1 for the Hong Kong version, optional English subtitles, newly translated for this release. Brand new audio commentary on the Hong Kong version by Asian film expert Frank Zhang, the New York Asian Film Festival. Brand new audio commentary on the US export version by action cinema experts Mike Leader and Arnie Venema. Brand new interview with stuntman Mike Lambert. Brand new interview with film critic Andrew Heskins of EasternKicks.com. Brand new interview with Leon Hunt, author of Kung Fu Cult Masters, From Bruce Lee to Crouching Tiger. Reversible sleeve featuring original poster artwork, archival making of featurette, trailers, and disc 2, limited edition bonus disc, alternate Taiwanese cut of the film, extended version of Black Mask, featuring all the unique footage from the various releases of the film reinserted. So, again, a very impressive and exciting debut launch title from Eureka, US. Great stuff. Okay, moving on from that, we have to talk about Radiance. Always good stuff coming from Radiance. Always exciting, intriguing stuff. Things I've never heard of, like the Bounty Hunter Trilogy. This one, before he made his name in Lone Wolf and Cub, Tomotsuburo Wakayama starred in this triptych of violent samurai spectacles that draw on James Bond and spaghetti westerns for inspiration, yet feature the familiar styles of and blood-spattering action of the period. Wakayama stars as Doctor and spy for hire Shikoro Ichibi, who in Shigeru Street Fighter, Ozawa's killer mission is hired to prevent the sale of firearms to the hostile shogun. In Ichi, 13 Assassins, so these are the different films. Kudo's follow-up, The Fort of Death, Ichibi is hired on a Seven Samurai-style mission to protect a village of farmers from a ruthless lord. The final film sees Ozawa return for 8 Men to Kill, in which Ichibi is hired to recover a cache of stolen gold from the government's mine, featuring an array of weapons and gadgets that would make Q proud, and with Ichibi supported by a band of helpers, including fellow spies, Ronin, and female ninjas. The bounty hunter films deliver action thrills galore, deserve to sit alongside the celebrated action epics that followed. So, very cool stuff. Just having, these three films together in one set is exciting, and I'd never heard of any of them. So, high definition digital transfer of each film presented on 2 discs, made available for the first time on Blu-ray in the world. Uncompressed mono PCM audio commentary on Killer's Mission by Tom Mess, interview with film historian and Shigeru Ozawa expert Akihito Ito about the filmmaker, visual essay by Ichikudo by Japanese cinema expert Robin Gatto, series poster and press image gallery, trailers, optional English subtitles, 6 postcards, reversible artwork, sleeves featuring artwork based on the original posters, limited edition booklet featuring new writing by samurai film expert Ellen Silver, an obituary of Ichi Kudo by Kinji Fukasaku, and an interview piece on Shigeru Ozawa after his retirement from filmmaking. This is limited to 3,000 copies, presented in a rigid box, which I do love. This is a very nice rigid box. Cases removable from Obi strip, leaving packaging free of certificate markings. So let's pull this out so you can get a look. So you have The Fort of Death, and then Killer's Mission and 8 Men to Kill in the 2 discs there. And we have our art cards as well. You can see what the reversible artwork would look like. I love that Radiance has this penchant for Asian cinema, and again, pulling out stuff that I've never heard of. So here's the booklet. It's a pretty solid size booklet. Very nice. I like that they include that. Collectors love that. So that is the Bounty Hunter Trilogy from Radiance. Next up we have The Shape of Night. Again, Radiance is batting almost 1,000 in terms of films that I've never heard of. So this one is another one that is totally off my radar, and a film that I just was not aware of at all. It is from 1964, 235-1. A young woman from the countryside, Miyuki Kiwano of Oshima's Cruel Story of the Youth, falls in love with a handsome hoodlum, Mikijiro Hira, Sword of the Beast, who pushes her life into a life of prostitution. When his sleazy superiors catch sight of her, she finds herself trapped inside the gaudy maze of city nightlife. Directed by Nobuo Nakamura, a veteran of Kiku's studio signature Golden Age family dramas, The Shape of Night was made as a reaction to the radical styles of the new Japanese New Wave, with its lush cinematography full of saturated colors, a lyrical tone, and its story of love leading to inescapable tragedy. It has been compared to the films of Douglas Sirk, while also acting as a precursor to the work of the great Wong Kar-wai. So, high definition digital transfer, new interview with Yoshio Nakamura, son of director Nobuo Nakamura. That's brand new. That's 16 minutes. Major changes, a visual essay on the artistic upheavals at Shajiku Studios during the 1960s by Tom Mess. 13 minutes. Easter egg. I won't say what that's about. 5 minutes. New improved English subtitles. Reversible sleeve with the original featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Time Tomorrow. Limited edition booklet featuring writing by Chuck Stevens. 3,000 copy limited edition run. Presented in the full height Scanavo packaging with removable obi strip, leaving the package, again, free of markings. So that is The Shape of Night from 1964. 235-1. Very curious about this one. Absolutely. This is a region A and B disc. And I should have mentioned that the Bounty Hunter Trilogy is also region A and B. Additionally, region A and B is this film, Misunderstood. Another one I do not know. And this film is from 1966. And it's the World English subtitled Blu-ray premiere, I guess. John Duncombe, the British consul in Florence, returns from his wife's funeral to his two children who are unaware of their mother's passing. He makes the decision to tell the eldest son, Andrea, but hides the truth from his sickly younger son, Milo. Director Luigi Comencini, from director of The Sunday Woman, I guess, captures the innocence and carefree moments of youth alongside the feelings of grief, creating one of the finest films about childhood, one which can stand alongside The 400 Blows, The Spirit of the Beehive, and L'Enfance Nue. A Palme d'Or nominee at the Cannes Film Festival and recipient of multiple awards from Italian institutions, Misunderstood features remarkable performances from the children and from Anthony Quayle as Duncombe. So yeah, another one totally unaware of, had no clue about this movie at all. New 2024 2K restoration from the original negative, uncompressed mono audio, interview with co-screenwriter Piero De Bernardi and Cristina Comencini, the director's daughter, and herself a noted filmmaker. That's from 2008. It's 36 minutes. Interview with legendary critic Michael Ciment, 2021, 24 minutes. A Child's Heart, a visual essay by David Cairns on Comencini and the filmmaker's affinity for childhood stories, from 2023, 25 minutes. Reversible sleeve featuring designs based on original promotional materials. Limited edition booklet featuring new writing by critic Manuela Lezic and a newly translated archival interview with Comencini. 3,000 copies, but another one that looks to be a powerful film and off a lot of people's radars, I'm sure, like mine. So that's Misunderstood. Okay, next up, more from, this is from Unearthed Films. And this is one I've been meaning to see for a long time. The Abandoned from 2006. And I guess it's about an adopted woman returning to her home country and the family that she never knew, and how she must face the mystery that lies there. In 1966, somewhere in Russia, a wounded woman drives a truck to an isolated farm with two babies. 40 years later, the film producer Marie Jones leaves her daughter in California and travels back to her homeland in the wilderness of Russia. Marie is one of the children and had received a phone call from the notary public, Andrei Misharin, who told her where the farm of her family is located. Marie arrives at the abandoned house and meets the stranger Nikolai, who tells her that he had also received a call from Misharin and that he is her twin brother. Weird things happen in the house, and Marie and Nikolai are haunted by zombie-like ghosts of themselves. Further, they find that they are trapped in the house and cannot leave the place. Now, this is one I feel like I saw on a list. I want to say it was Mark Edward Hoyk called this out some years ago, and I could be wrong about that, so forgive me if that's the case. But I've definitely seen it highlighted by some serious cinephiles that I'm aware of, and so it's been on my radar for years. So I'm very curious about it. Bonus materials include Rose Smith interviews Nacho Cherda, Rose Smith interviews Richard Stanley, Rose Smith interviews Kareem Hussein, The Making of the Abandoned featurette, In the Den of the Abandoned featurette, Nacho Cherda Facing Death featurette, The Little Secrets of Nacho Cherda featurette, and When Buck Meets Cherda, a dialogue between friends featurette, as well as some alternative sequences and deleted and extended scenes and outtakes. Yeah, Very curious about this one. Just really don't know a lot about it other than that recommendation that I heard years ago. So Unearthed Films always doing interesting stuff. So definitely something that I'm very curious to check out. Next up, we have Mean Guns from the recently departed Albert Pyun, I believe. Yes, this is a Pyun film. I know this one is a favorite, I want to say Mike White of the Projection Booth. I want to say that they did an episode on this. Forgive me if I'm misspeaking, but I'm pretty sure that's what I heard about this one. It's kind of like a not a battle royale, but something along those lines. A crime lord played by Ice-T contrives a massive gunfight, offering $10 million prize to the last 3 hoods alive. The world's most dangerous criminals are summoned to a new prison on the eve before its grand opening by Moon, that's Ice-T, the ruthless leader of the world's most powerful crime syndicate. Chaos ensues when weapons and ammunition are passed around, and the group, including Lou, Christopher Lambert, begin their fight to survive. The last 3 men standing by midnight have been promised $10 million in cash by Moon, who watches from his surveillance camera as gunfire and bodies fly. Rivalries develop between friends, and the lines of loyalty are crossed as each criminal attempts to outwit, outrun, and outlive each other in the action-packed game of elimination. So this is one of Pyun's more fun movies. 235-1, presented 1080p, of course. This has an audio commentary from Pyun. This is actually this has come out, I want to say, is it 101 Films? Somebody put this out overseas, but I don't think it's had a domestic Blu-ray. Don't hold me to that. But this does seem to be the most stacked in terms of extras. It's got a bunch of new stuff. So the audio commentary from Pyun must come from a DVD. Introduction by Pyun, only about 40 seconds, but good to have that. Then it's got 3 new interviews. One with producer Gary Schmoller, that's 29 minutes. One with executive producer Paul Rosenblum, that's about 24 minutes. And one with composer Anthony Ripparetti, that's about 18 and a half minutes. Also includes reversible artwork, collectible mini poster, limited slip cover. It's the MVD Rewind Collection, VHS cover. But yeah, I've seen this before. It's been a minute, but this is obviously a very nice edition of this movie. Good for Albert Pyun fans out there. Okay, just a couple more things here. We have The Night of the Blood Monster. This is one of the latest 4Ks from Blue Underground, who always does incredible work with their 4Ks. Christopher Lee gives one of his most unforgettable performances as Judge Jeffries in this infamous 17th century witchfinder. I guess he's the witchfinder. Horror will hold you helpless. Christopher Lee, the Wicker Man, gives you one of his most unforgettable performances as Judge Jeffries. The infamous 17th century witchfinder whose unholy obsession with a luscious wench, Maria Rome, fuels a jaw-dropping spree of torture, brutality, and flesh-ripping perversion. Howard Vernon, Margaret Lee, Maria Schell, and Oscar nominee Leo Genn co-star in this landmark epic of sexual violence and sadism, complete with a superb score by Bruno Nicolai. I like his stuff a lot. And directed with spectacularly deviant glee by the one and only Jess Franco. So just another Jess Franco 4K. Exciting to see him get so much love on not only Blu-ray but 4K. I don't love his stuff myself, but I certainly am open to and excited about him getting this kind of treatment. And he's quite a prolific filmmaker, so there's a lot of movies. Blue Underground is proud to present the most complete and uncensored version of Night of the Blood Monster, also known as The Bloody Judge, from a brand new 2023 Dolby Vision HDR 4K master, painstakingly restored from various European vault elements, featuring additional nudity, bloodshed, and what Christopher Lee himself calls scenes of extraordinary depravity. So you've got the man himself quoted there. 235-1 widescreen, subtitles, English, French, Spanish. 3 audio commentaries, one with film historians Troy Haworth and Nathaniel Thompson, one with film historians Kim Newman and Barry Forshaw. Always love their stuff. I've mentioned them already in this episode. Film historians David Flint and Adrian Smith do the 3rd audio commentary. Bloody Jess, interviews with director Jess Franco and star Christopher Lee. I guess those are archival. I don't know. Judgment Day, interview with Stephen Thrower, author of Murderous Passions, The Delirious Cinema of Jess Franco. Along with Kim Newman, Stephen Thrower is one of the great film critics in the UK there, and I love having him on these discs. In the Shadows, interviews with filmmaker Alan Birkinshaw and author Stephen Thrower on Harry Allen Towers. Deleted scenes and alternate scenes, trailers, and TV spots. So it looks to be another great release from Blue Underground. Their scans on 4K have been great so far. Have yet to be disappointed. And then we have this one from Cult Epics, All Ladies Do It. This is a Tinto Brass film. From the director of Caligula and Salon Kitty comes the stylish erotic comedy All Ladies Do It, 4K UHD world premiere. After 5 years of marriage, Diana discovers the joys of adultery, claiming that she can save her failing relationship with her husband through betrayal. From the director of Caligula and Salon Kitty comes this stylish erotic comedy drama, All Ladies Do It, starring sexy Claudia Call. Cult Epics presents the uncut and uncensored director's cut with new and vintage bonus features. Cult Epics I don't talk about here enough, and I should. I do like their output. I do find it fascinating. This is a film, Tinto Brass in general, not somebody I'm that familiar with. So let's see, 4K Blu-ray special features. New 4K transfer from the original negatives and restoration with HDR. New DTS stereo, English and Italian. New audio commentary by Eugenio Ercolani and Troy Howarth. That's all in the 4K. On the Blu-ray, we have those features plus an interview with director Tinto Brass from 2001 and outtakes, All Ladies Do It. Double-sided sleeve with original uncensored Italian poster art. 20-page illustrated booklet with liner notes by Eugenio Ercolani and Domenico Manetti. Slipcase and 4K UHD first pressing exclusive for Repro Italian lobby card prints. So a very nice looking release with lots of nice features from Cult Epics on 4K. Closing out, we have a couple from 88 Films. We have the Inspector Wears Skirts 2. This is from 1989. Hong Kong's toughest teams of fearless lady cops are back on the beat. These female furies are forced to take on a team of foreign mercenaries. Hong Kong's toughest team of these female furies are forced to take on the male counterparts in a battle of the sexes and a team of foreign mercenaries. Action legend Jackie Chan's lethal ladies include Shaw Brothers icon Wai Yin Hung, Sibel Hu, and the bodacious Amy Yip. The film's stunning action scenes are delivered by the Jackie Chan stunt team, who also co-star in the film. That's a big highlight, big thing to be excited about. Inspector Wears Skirts 2 lays down its own brand of law with a madcap action comedy blend of mirthful and martial. Brand new 2K restoration from the original camera negatives, 185:1. 2.0 Cantonese soundtrack with newly translated English subtitles. 2.0 English dub soundtrack. Audio commentary with Asian cinema expert Frank Zhang. Interview with actor Anthony Carpio. And leading the top, an interview with director Wilson Chin. So that is Inspector Wears Skirts 2. And lastly, we have The Beauty of Beauties. This one is from 1965, so a little bit older than a lot of the stuff they've been putting out. In a story drawn from China's legendary Warring States period, the king of Yu, Gujian, is defeated and imprisoned by the king of Wu, Fusha. The Beauty of Beauties, the spectacular historical epic that swept the Golden Horse Awards, winning for Best Feature Film, Director, Actor, Color Cinematography, and Art Direction, is a story drawn from China's legendary Warring States period. As I mentioned, the king, is defeated and imprisoned by the king of Wu, Fucha, but when Gujian returns to his much-maligned homeland, he is determined to defeat Wu once and for all with a secret weapon, a local beauty named Zhai Si, who is sent to serve Fucha and lure him to his doom. Brand new 4K remaster from the original negatives, 2.0 Mandarin, newly translated English subtitles, interview with Oriental cinema expert Tony Raines, and a trailer comparison. So that's it. that'll do it for this round of MVD stuff. Lots of great and varied titles here. Check them out at the MVD shop. I think all of them are available there to order and elsewhere online. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.